Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Marie, and as we are approaching the end of the year, I thought let's keep this tradition alive of talking about some of my favorite things, aspects and sustainable habits from 2025. I've done these videos in the past and you guys really seem to enjoy them, so let's continue. I have 25 things from 2025 today that I want to share with you. Are they the classic cliche zero waste swaps that you see everyone talk about all the time? No. Absolutely not. I've tried to divide this video into several categories. So I have a food category, sort of a home category. I have fashion and beauty, and then I have like activities and hobbies. Let's get started. I do really have a hard time imagining a world without these things. It's this. So I have these in bigger sizes and they all stack. They all fit perfectly together like Legos, which is so absolutely convenient in the fridge. I do a lot of food prep, both for dinner parties as well as for recipe videos. So having easy, accessible containers like this that are easy to clean, steam these, put them in the oven as well. I got these from a store that specializes in professional kitchen equipment, and these have been a game changer. And you know, the fact that there's absolutely no plastic involved just makes it even better. Now, when it comes to specific ingredients, I have something that I have to mention in this video because every time I see it on a menu, I will choose it. Every time I see it in a store, I will grab it for you. I always have some in my own freezer, and both my parents and my partner's parents have them in their freezer for when we're coming over, and it's the juicy marble steaks. I love these things to bits. I think it is truly the result of me being a really big meat lover back when I was eating meat. Then I went first vegetarian and then fully plant-based, mainly for environmental reasons. I never stopped liking the taste and texture of meat and what you can do with those ingredients. And having a vegan product that is so similar is an absolute godsend. I've made them into vegan beef Wellingtons. I serve them at Christmas. Sometimes I obsess over something that takes over whole weeks of my life, where this is just my main focus. Let me know if you know this feeling. Earlier this year, I was definitely that obsessed with making magnolia syrup. I went to the same magnolia tree for weeks to check if it was blooming or not. And when it was, I took a few of the flowers and I made this gorgeous magnolia syrup. I mean, there were several weeks where every time we were near magnolia tree, I would point it out. Like when you see a cow, right? So I was like, oh, that's a nice one. Oh, that is good. I also made a lot of stuff this year, and this is something I haven't always done, but I don't know what happened this year. I started becoming more curious about the process of producing things, making things yourself. A lot of the stuff that I've made has been kitchen related. Big shock. So first of all, I made my first spoon. I am making more spoons. I am whole ass setting up a little production workshop. Look at her. There's tons of mistakes. Also, can you see that I recently used her for something with turmeric in it? I can't remember, but clearly. But I would have liked there was a bit more like a curved arch here. I would have liked this part to be smoother. But overall, having zero experience, I was very happy that this was the result. So my own homemade spoon is going on the list. A more recent obsession has been Japanese milk bread, or shokupan. So I made this a couple of times. I also have a recipe for it now if you want to make a plant-based version, because I couldn't really find that anywhere. So I thought, hey, I should make that. I love a nice fluffy piece of bread, so this was absolutely chef's kiss. Really serious part of this list, which has a very silly execution, has to be the Plasti Spice from Greenpeace. This is by far the funniest thing I have ever received. Back in the summer, I did a campaign with Greenpeace where the point of it was to draw attention towards increasing microplastic in our food. And in order to show that, they sent me this little spice blend of microplastic. These are just sprinkles, but I poured them all over my pasta, sort of to symbolize microplastic in our food. It's just standing there next to all my other spices. So sometimes someone looks at it and just goes, what is that? I have to put a specific wine brand on this list because I went to the vineyard this year and I'm making a video about that visit and the impact of wine. So stay tuned for that because dead serious, this was so interesting. I have to put OE wine on there. They sent me a whole box of different wines to try. I still have one of their reds, organic, pesticide free. They're also B Corp certified. They're really just doing tons of amazing things, both in terms of their own recyclability of bottles and their take back program, as well as regenerative farming. If I'm to put a restaurant on this list, and I really want to, it has to be the restaurant I have visited by far the most times. And I'm kind of biased here because I'm also good friends with the owner. So I'm sort of gravitating towards that space because I know the people there as well. But they still deserve a massive shout out. If you're ever in Copenhagen, go to Bistro Verde. It is a 100% vegan restaurant. And what I really like about them, except for them being 100% plant-based, because already that's fantastic. While there are tons of whole food options on the menu, there are also more experimental dishes where we use vegan steak or vegan salmon, and I think that is just really, really cool. Okay, maybe this is a gradient category of food, kitchen, home. Just stay with me here, because I made another thing that I am so stinking proud of. I worked with clay this year, and this is the first time I have done it. I was invited to this ceramics cafe where sometimes you can paint ceramics. I've done that many times, but the thing is, there's sort of pre-made designs that you have to paint, and in my experience, it's fun to paint them, but I don't really want them to go home with me because I have an aesthetic and I have a style in my kitchen, and having hand painted stuff made by me, I'm just simply not talented enough for that to be something I want to look at every day. It's kind of the same with Legos, right? It's fun to build, but do I want an 11,000 piece Millennium Falcon in my living room? No, absolutely not. So I found that making the ceramics, glazing it, is so much more my speed, because I can make something that I will actually use, and that takes it from just being a fun afternoon to being a fun afternoon, and then with a result that I'm actually going to use. So I made this thing that is actually something that I'm missing. It's both like a little milk jug that you can use for tea, coffee when you have people over, but moreover, it's for gravy. So you fill this with sauce and then you dispense it from there. I love this. And I am just so excited that I made this. This goes on my list because this is not the last time I'm making ceramics. So this year, me and my partner went to Paris as a part of a journey of going to the vegan surf camp. They could also be on this list because the vegan surf camp in the southern part of France, 10 out of 10. And it is a recycling, upcycling glass store that use recycled materials to make this amazing glassware. And I fell head over heels for this glass. I sat there through the entire journey, just la soufflerie. Does that sound right? I'll double check and put it on the screen. This is one of those souvenirs that I will use every single day. It's not something that's just chilling in a corner where I forget about it eventually. This glass I use every single day. It is my preferred glass, to the point where I'm also drinking wine from it. I don't care, I love it. And speaking of glass, this might be the most cliche zero waste thing, but the reality is that I use it all the time. I use this several times a week, and I do this routinely. This is exactly what I mean. I'm literally editing the video now, and this is my morning coffee. So I use it either for water, for iced coffee. I bring it with me. This might very well be the last evidence of the classic cliche zero waste living aesthetic. But since I have it, and I have accumulated many a metal and many a glass straw from the time of being very aesthetically zero waste. The methods, the habits, all of that still exists for me, but the aesthetic of zero waste perhaps doesn't to the same extent, because that's sort of hyper-focusing on the wrong thing, I reckon. But this just goes to show that some habits just die really hard, and I still use this all the time. I feel like it's 2016 again. Moving further into sort of the home house category, one of the things that I have to put on this list are the doorknobs in my new house. The doorknobs are original from 1968, and they are so bloody gorgeous. But the thing is, so many people have asked me if we're going to replace them because they think they're sort of retro in a tacky way, and it's really made me think about how what we think is retro and vintage and cool and what we think is just really depends on what generation you're from. Because my parents' generation, they see those kinds of doorknobs as what were in their grandparents' house, and they just go, it smells like cigarettes and child neglect. I can't. So many people from that generation have sort of said to me they can't with that. They would have changed them into something sleek and aluminium or chrome, steel, that kind of thing, which is not surprising. But people from my generation do not have those same associations, I reckon. Everyone my age thinks this is fucking cool. So I think that's a little bit funny. What will we have as that kind of reaction? I don't know. Do I have that kind of reaction, honestly, with low-rise jeans? Yes, I absolutely do. But I love those doorknobs. This is a really simple one, but drying laundry outside is on my favorites list for 2025. This isn't just a cool little habit. This is actually one of the key features in making sure that our clothes last as long as possible. Because when we put our clothes in the dryer, we break them down much faster. So when we air dry our clothes, and now that I have a garden, I can air dry outside, which is absolutely phenomenal. The freshness that comes from that, unmatched. This is such a boring one, but it is unfortunately just one of the most effective things that we can do to lower our individual carbon footprint, especially if we live in a house, and it is a circulation pump. In the beginning of 2025, I did this amazing collaboration with Grundfos. They make a really massive chunk of the world's circulation pumps. And one of the things that I learned from this collaboration was that sometimes invisible, super boring swaps and changes actually has the biggest impact. Older models tend to be a lot less effective and optimized, which means that a lot of hot water is just wasted. Where newer models don't waste those resources, which means that individual houses with newer circulation pumps require fewer resources, which is really smart. And there are so many outdated circulation pumps in buildings today, which means that we're using a lot of energy and resources completely unnecessarily. So I will always be a hard advocate for the circulation pump. It is unsexy, but damn it, it works. I'll leave some resources down below if you want to know more about that. Okay, and where would this video be without a little shout out to thrifted frames? I have here a thrifted frame, which I'm not going to try and say any more times because my mouth don't want to do it that way. This is one of those things that is absolutely mental to go out and buy from new, both because they are super expensive, but also because they are so widely abundant in thrift stores. I printed out this little picture of the beach that I took this year, added some nice Passepartout cardboard, and into a thrifted frame it went. And I love how this turned out. We are moving into the sort of fashion and beauty aspect. When I repair something, I end up loving it way more than I did before. And this year I sat on a pair of my glasses. I took them to a repair shop and they said, it doesn't really make sense to repair these because of the material. It's a thrifted pair of glasses, so like who the fuck cares? Just buy a new one. I care. So I glued them. Look at that. So this bends and this does not. Now I love wearing them even more. It's a great repair, you know, really. Wow. But hey, it works. If it works, it works. And this works. Can we give it up for visible mending? Because this is also on my list. Overall, feels like I'm becoming way more interested in a lot of these craft related things to sustainability than I was just a couple of years ago. Maybe it's because I'm experiencing an inner calm that it really takes to have the patience to live out a lot of these projects, but I don't know, but I like it way more. Here's a little example of something that I made recently. I spilled something with turmeric on my shirt. White shirt, it's not going off. So I embroidered this little leaf design on it. It's a little bit messy, but you know, she's still learning. This is the dress that I wear to weddings and formal occasions, apparently. But I like that this is the dress. It is super comfy, it is really flattering. When you have something like this, you should wear it as much as possible. So I don't give a fuck if the same people see me in the same thing. Honestly, no one else gives a fuck. If you have friends that think that's sad or bad to wear the same thing all over, girl, you know what you have to do. I think you should wear. You bought it. You should wear. It's not disposable. You know, you should wear. I could not make this video without talking about the coat that I wear all the freaking time. This is a Saks Pops coat. It's a brand that is no longer operating, but even if they were, I wouldn't recommend buying from them or supporting them. I got this coat secondhand. I am really stoked about it. I will wear this until it completely falls apart. It is a long brown patent leather coat that I got back 3 or 4 years ago, and during that part of winter that isn't so freezing cold that I have to layer up way more, I wear this. I wear this. It has to be on this list. Those things that you buy, those things that you keep wearing over and over again, to the point where it becomes kind of a signature look, where it becomes like a part of your character. So every time I talk about any kind of cosmetic, beauty, I talk about the Beauty Made Easy Le Papier lipsticks. It has to be on this list. You can get these from a few different distributors. I got this from a Danish beauty store, but you can get them from international stores as well. And the gist is, if you've seen my videos before, you're probably tired of seeing me explain this. It is paper wrapped, no plastic, and they are so nice. I have these in multiple colors. I mean, you know what? I have to put Flixbus on this list. I have spent so many hours on a Flixbus this year. It's actually not even funny. So they have to be on this list for better or for worse. Sometimes it's a little bit of a have love, have hate relationship, because is it always the comfiest experience? No, but we do appreciate flight-free travel whenever that's possible. And there's no denying that Flixbus has made this extremely available to so many people. I have to put my forest on this list as well. I've been running a lot this year. I've been loving it. It's sort of the place and the time where I can absolutely just clear my mind when nothing happens inside my head, and I definitely need those moments as a self-employed environmentalist. Those moments are crucial. I've tried during the winter to run on a treadmill, and that just does not do the work for me. It actually makes my brain even louder. And now I have a forest so close. I am so excited about that. But running outside, being out in nature, not only turns off my brain and makes me actually relax and unwind, it's also a great reminder of the season, and it's also a great reminder of the nature that we're trying to conserve and protect. And the last two things in this hobby category. First of all, the book that has made the biggest impression on me this year. It's The Gracia. I talked about this book in my Flixbus travel through Europe video because I finished it while I was on the bus and I was sobbing. I tried to not be super obvious about it, but the ending especially just tore me to pieces. There are also moments that are slightly spicy, which is fantastic. And then there is a bunch of violence and gore, and some people might find it a little bit too violent, which I get. I do love violent literature. That is sort of where I'm at. Last year my favorite book was Tender is the Flesh. So you know, there is that. She's a psychopath. It's great. If you are into stories about rebel girls in societies that oppress women, this is for you. Okay, and the last thing. So this year I got a secondhand tablet, and I got it because I thought I could bring it on my travels whenever I work outside of my office and edit my pictures, my videos, answer emails. It's a lot easier to have it on a tablet than to bring my massive laptop. Also because my laptop is extensively heavy. So I got a tablet, which is not my last thing of the year. What is now primarily on my tablet, on the other hand, the obsession lives. I am playing Stardew Valley like nobody's business. This is my unwind game. I play my game on the bus, on the train, in my couch. This is what resonates with me. Okay. Now that it is in the video, it also makes sense why the game is on the work tablet. Aha! Hello, this is once again me editing, and I realized that I forgot to mention number 25. Anyway, so number 25 is my grandmother's ring. This is an amethyst in a gold band, and she got this on her 18th birthday. She wore this ring every single day that I knew her. I lost my grandmother this year. I lost her in March. I held her hand the day she passed away. We had a really special bond. I also made a video sort of trying to work through this kind of grief. This year has been massively affected by losing my grandmother. I think about her every single day, and if you recently lost someone, or not even recently, but just if you're working through some kind of grief, just know I'm right there with you, sending you a big hug, because God, it sucks. But I think it honestly might be the object that matters the most to me. So it does make sense to not use it in this video. Also because I've actually gotten a lot of comments from people asking where it's from and sort of saying that it's really nice and like, where did I get it? It's my heart. So that was number 25. And that is everything. That is my 25 favorites from 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorites are, both on my list as well as what your favorites are from your own list. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye.